Hey guys and girls, Sean Evans, the Evans Master here, and welcome to a long overdue episode of Pointless Thoughts. For the newcomers who don't know what Pointless Thoughts is, it's thoughts that I have that are pointless. It's kind of in the title. No, just the random things that go around in my head every now and then. In the past episodes I've talked about, the acts of the bedroom, the friend zone, streaking. I know I'm missing an episode because there's 4, but they're among the things that I've talked about in the last few episodes. But for this episode, I'll be talking about something that I wish we saw more of, and that's supervillain games. As we all know, superhero games are a dime a dozen, with Batman and Spider-Man often being the more plentiful and successful ones. But there's never really been games where you play as a supervillain, like a member of their rogues gallery. I mean, you have games like Infamous that let you be as heroic or villainous as you want. There's Prototype, which is he kind of functions like Venom and is just brutal. Then there's Spider-Man Web of Shadows that lets you make evil choices influenced by the symbiote, and Ultimate Spider-Man that lets you play as both Spider-Man and Venom. There's also Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League on the way. But there's never really been a game, at least off the top of my head, that exclusively puts you in the shoes of villains like Thanos or Deathstroke. I know there are a couple reasons for that. Like, one, they probably wouldn't be as profitable as your standard superhero games. And 2, it's a difficult concept to pull off and pull off well. But I reckon if it's done right, then it could be a really unique and rewarding experience. Though that sentiment is true for pretty much any risky, ambitious project. My desire for a supervillain game can be traced back to this, the movie tie-in game for Spider-Man. If you beat the game on hard, or do this, you unlock the ability to play as the game's villain, Green Goblin. Kind of. You can use the glider, its weapons, the pumpkin bombs, but you're not Norman Osborn, you're his son Harry using his father's gear. When you play the story as him, the game gives the impression that the story is set after the movie, with Harry's motivation trying to find out what his father was up to and kind of restoring his legacy in that. It's been a while since I've played through the whole story as him. And also some of the game's dialogue is altered, so instead of people saying, "It's Spider-Man," they're saying, "It's Green Goblin." Here's an example for you.
Hey, Spidey! You're the greatest, man! Hey, Goblin, you stink, man!
Yeah, same to you, buddy!
And in place of the main villain being the Green Goblin, the villain is instead the Green Goblin.
I need to track down that imposter and finish things.
Congratulations, Osborn. Dealing with you just moved to the top of my to-do list.
In the game, he's just referred to as the imposter, and he claims he was hired by Norman. I can't remember if it's ever revealed who he is, whether he's, like Hobgoblin, Ned Leeds, Jason Massendale, Norman Resurrected. I don't know. So, while you're playing as Goblin, you're technically not being a villain.
Here's where I get to prove I'm one of the good guys.
Huh?
And then Ultimate Spider-Man came along, where both Spider-Man and Venom were playable. You play through the story as Spider-Man, occasionally switching to Venom for a mission, and when you complete the game's story, you can free roam with either one as much as you like. You can probably guess the character I prefer playing as the most. He's just powerful and brutal, and you can just go on a rampage to the point where you've got the fucking shield helicarrier towering you. But don't worry, no one dies. It's a superhero game. Spidey doesn't kill. Neither does Venom. That was a self-driving car. That were pretty popular in 2005. That guy landed on his feet. He'll walk it off.
Hands in the air. Jesus Christ!
He just needs a bit of physio. He'll be fine.
Oh, he's flatlining. Call it. Time?
Okay, some people may be dying. Then you have games where you can play as the villain through DLC. You've got the likes of Batman Arkham Origins, where you can play as Deathstroke.
Break his face!
Then you got Spider-Man 3, where you can play as Harry Osborn again, the new Goblin. You got Batman Arkham Knight, where you can play as Harley Quinn.
Try again!
And then you have Superman Returns, where you can play as Bizarro.
Me destroy city, because me am hero.
Bitch.
And then you have The Amazing Spider-Man, where you can play as the Lizard and the Rhino. I've played as all of them except for Lizard and Rhino, because by the time I finally got my hands on The Amazing Spider-Man, the DLC was no longer available, so I'll never get to experience playing as them. Shit. So who are some supervillains I'd like to see get their own game? Of course, Venom would be at the top of the list. I suppose you could make the argument that he's more of an anti-hero now, as opposed to being a straight-up villain. I'm holding out hope that he'll be playable in some way in the Marvel Spider-Man 2. Or we could get a follow-up game that acts as a continuation, much like Miles Morales was for the first Spider-Man. I think Doomsday could be an interesting one. It could work like the Incredible Hulk, Ultimate Destruction, where you just run around destroying shit. You could start on Krypton, make your way across the universe, and then finally end up on Earth for your showdown with Superman and the Justice League. For Deathstroke, you could have like a Hitman style game. You could go around the world doing contracts and using those payments to upgrade your gear, maybe get into a fist fight with the Batman. I'd love to be Dr. Doom, beating the shit out of the Fantastic Four and protecting Latveria. I'd love to be Kang the Conqueror, fighting Avengers and other Kangs across history and alternate timelines. I'm not picky. If a villain or villainess gets their own game, chances are I'm probably going to try it out. Anyway, that's my brief 2 cents about supervillain games. Are there any Marvel or DC villains that you think deserve their own game? Anyway, that's all for this brief return to Pointless Thoughts, and I'll see you guys and girls next time. Laters.